We gotta reset this up. Fine. We got a lot to discuss today and tonight. Excuse me. Let me see if I can get this to stay still. Oh, no, it's not. Let me move these out the way. Okay. Let me get this together. Alright, that's better. Yes, we got a lot to discuss tonight. I've been going for a quick minute. But trust me, it's not for no reason. Lord Enki don't play no games. And we're going to see why today. So anyway, we got questions. I'm asking questions like, what is Ascension? What is God of the White? These things is important. I was on this mission looking for what's going on with me. This is a little background, so as people come in, we get a little talk going, so we have understanding. So my thing is, I'm a regular Bronx kid from the Bronx or whatever, and I came to the islands, and something strange happened. It was like something was inside of me. So looking for what it was, it set me on a path, a mission, or like opening up portals of portals. I started seeing things. Like first I felt things that was uncomfortable, and then I started seeing them. With seeing them, it led to me having no choice but to deal with it. With dealing with it, it led to a whole bunch of research into a lot of things that I was occurring, such as being an empath, vampirism, just magnetic field, the energies, astral world beings, psychic abilities, telekinesis. All of this is just part of the journey as I went through all of this. Excuse me. So now, with this all leading down this wormhole, it started taking on a different tone. Everything that I researched or looked into, I saw. It was something I saw meditating because I never was a person who meditated before 4 years ago. I didn't know nothing about that. I was a regular hood dude doing bad things, going in and out of the system or whatever. And all of a sudden things changed. So this is why I'm bringing it to your attention in the way I'm doing it, because it's the ancestors or what we call spirits that's doing this. And so with that in mind, listen to this presentation. So from the research, what we've been doing, and it's been tracking down, it went from me thinking I got powers and abilities to God. It was something else controlling these powers and abilities that I had. Chakras, kundalini, these beings that I'm seeing. It was the same like in Egypt. So with seeing all these Egyptian things that look horns and look like all these beings, you scared to death or think it's something evil because the church equates everything to that. And so we think it's demonic. So until I met Bobby Hemmett and started watching all his videos, I really thought that was very demonic or evil or something like that. Then I realized it was something spiritual. Spiritual that only the black people was able to see. They drew these pictures, they made these masks, and nobody couldn't understand what they was doing. They was known as shamans, there was bushmans, all these different names, witch doctors. They actually was the precursor to what we see in Egypt. And so this have a different tone now where you look at these people and call them savages or they didn't know what they was doing because of their spirituality. This is something that is spirits that you're seeing. So Ascension now was the secret society back in those days. And I'm talking from the pygmy time, the beginning. I trace this to West Africa, to just a race of people that first came here that is connected to the called the cross genetics or the cross DNA. It's just the genetics that created all the different races. And I tracked down the races, how it started in West Africa with the Negroes or Niger, and it comes about to its color spectrum where it turns into Europe, the Europeans. All of it start as one frequency. We went through that. So now inside that society, from the beginning, was always a hidden part. The hidden part, the Europeans never got to know it. They never let nobody in. They acted dumb. They played stupid. So the secret society part became the Freemasonry stuff and all the stuff that controls this world today. Now, this is important to know because this is where the God of the white come in and Ascension come in. Ascension was played out basically in Egypt because of the simple fact that they call that the coming into day ritual. They see like the people who was not went through the ritual, they wasn't awake. They was like dead. They wasn't alive. They didn't associate with them. So you had an inner circle and an outer circle. The same thing in our basic society. If you're a citizen, you're in the outer circle. And the inner circle is national citizens or, other diplomatic status. But anyways now, all of this is because they learned that we're controlled by spirits. We're not controlling ourselves. Who we think we're ourselves is actually spirits playing games with you. It's replicated in cartoons. See, cartoons is very mischievous little kids, and that's the first stages when you start entering this world. They let you into the cartoon world to give you a transformation into this world. But the cartoon world replicates the spirits, how they're mischievous, they love to play, they bong each other up. All that stuff is actually real, and they look just like in the cartoons. And I'm gonna get you get up to date with all that, how I know all this stuff, because this is a part of my ascension that I'm bringing this to your understanding. So now, when we know now that we come from actually being influenced by spirits, and we're not ourselves, that's why you get the two type of groups of people, the inner circle and the outer circle. With the inner circle, went through the initiation or found out the actual real secrets of the West African and just kept it amongst themselves and built nations, societies. So you see, we went from hunter-gatherers to all of a sudden civilized through the spirit that came and gave us the knowledge. And so those that did the ascension process became gods. So your god, who's Ra, was actually a pharaoh at one time, with the title pharaoh just meaning somebody who ascended. It wasn't pharaoh, there was another word for it, I can't remember now. Pharaoh is like a pseudo word for this Indian indigenous word that everybody used. So now, with ascension, once you've completed ascension, you go through something where you put a probiotic cell, a microbe, you go back to your logo. They call that the solar logo. You go back into it like a chakra. And once you get to the center of it, it's like you influence the matrix. Everything in the matrix take on your tone. Like how they say a whole bunch of people look at, or is the blood of Genghis Khan, or the blood of these rich people, or all this stuff. They do some ascension stuff and put the prokaryotic cells into the matrix, and they control the subconscious mind of everybody. Have you ever heard about like the Mandela effect, or when they did a test in Australia of a group of people and they taught them one thing, all of a sudden all the different groups all over the world started adapting it to? It works that way. They could input one thing into the matrix and we could all just repeat it and do it. And so that's what's been always influencing over us. This is the spirits. These is also the star beings. These are the planetary beings that we're ignorant to now because NASA has locked us out of space. Astrology is not being taught. Everybody's doing this for their own self-gain. So we don't care about what's really going on and what's influencing us. Those that actually know the truth just separate themselves from those who's ignorant to it and allow them to be the servant to the system to make the system work. But the system is working against you and using you. So now on this note, this is why Ascension was offered to us. Ascension is actually you're an angel. You're an angelic being. And you do Ascension to remember. Once you're able to remember, then you get back all your abilities, your powers to do stuff. So it's more of a magnetic field. Your body is electrical, like that's why you alkaline and eat alkaline food. But you're missing magnetics. Your magnetics is controlled by your emotions. If you're emotional, you don't have a magnetic field. You understand? You have to override your emotions to make that be your magnetic field. Once you have magnetic field, you're able to control your will. Through will and imagination, you could make an influence on the matrix. Law of attraction coming. Things start lining up for you. For everybody else who don't know the science down pat, they go out and work for theirs. They go out and do all types of stuff that brings about anxiety, diseases, a whole bunch of things. All right, so that's why Ascension was offered to everybody from 12 years old. Ascension started even with the Jews, they call it the bar mitzvah. When the kid goes into bar mitzvah, it was actually more sexual because that's when their sexual organs start to come into play. So they help induce it. You understand? So we have to go through these initiations. These initiations was also, when they performed them, they had to take the little boy like at 8 to 12 years old away from the mother. Before that, he was raised by the mother. And after that, he's taken away from the mother and learned how to do some special things to make him leave his boyhood self, like maybe, kill an animal or something. But when he comes back to his family, he's taught to insult his mother, to disrespect her, because that was a sign that he's a man now, that she saw it was cute or manly or whatever, which we still see in today's society. So understand, we're still our ancestors and we're repeating the same things over and over again. We're just here, we're the same spirit. So now, when we're talking about God of the White is who your true self is. You have the yin and yang symbol. Remember, one side is black, one side is white. That's very important to understand. Those colors is for real. Those two colors is what we call ether energy. When they combine, they cause a combustion of ether energy. Ether energy, now, if you look at them as two half of faces, in between make rainbow. All the 7 colors of the rainbow come from these two black and white forces. These two black and white forces create all the calcification that makes a spirit physical flesh through chemicals. So once you understand that these is important, you will see that now what we're calling God of the White is actually the white part of the yin and yang symbol, the white side of yourself. And in West Africa, they call that Obitella. Or how would we say it in the Western world? We call them, I'll think of it in a second, but I call them Obitella because we got Obidua and you got Obia. All these words that come from the beginning with the O, the circle. They saw the mother, the matriarch, which was just a circle, a prokaryotic cell that started the first language. That's why in West Africa, between Nigeria, the Igbo, and the Batu people, and the Pygmy, all of their words start with an O. Olu, Oluwa, Oluwasa. All of those was the first language, the first people who saw the O. That was number one. So when we start talking about now the God of the White, remember back then they took ashes and rubbed it all over their faces doing their ritual. And even when you look at Cortez, who came to Mexico, he saw all of that, like the Europeans, as gods because he saw their white skin. He never saw white skin before, so he thought they were spirit. That's what it meant. It didn't mean like white is superior and black is inferior. That's what we're taking it now today because we lost. But white, it represented spirit. So back in the days, they used to do rituals where they put ashes all over themselves, the white ashes, and dance around the fire to give honor to their spirits. That's what they saw. Now, spirits don't look like how we look. That's why when we say we're our ancestors, we got to understand that we don't look like this when we leave here. We go back to different forms of what we are. And what we don't realize is everything in our reality reflects that what we see. The real spirits, they're here, but you just wasn't taught to see them. Well, we're going to learn back how to see them because it's a different frequency we're in. We're in the Aquarian age, and certain people are chosen to help. All right, now on that note, so God of the White, let me explain God of the White to you, how it comes into importance for black people. God of the White made black. Let me repeat that. God of the White made black. Obitella made black people. A white cloud make black people. Obitella is a black man, but he don't look. It's a white. It's just white. Look at Santeria, what they wear. Look at all the major and they represent the white dove as the spirit. It's just like a white cloud. It's in the Bible. He comes as a cloud. That's him. Same person. So once you understand that there's two sides, the black now is what we've been hearing about in Egypt. Everything, God of the black, Kemet, black, this. That's not for us. That the black make white. Everything is opposite. So when we first was doing this, we talking about Alegba, Shango, All those gods was made by the god of the white, the original black gods that became the Olympians, who the Greeks represent, who became the Catholic saints, who became the what these people call over there? Brazilian gods. You know, the same thing. They all do the African Santeria worship, which is the original West African. So when you looking into God, like I said, the G-O-D, you're only looking at the O-D, which is Odwa. Take the G off because that just means government or whatever. It's still the same West African word, which will render you a black God, a black one that made white. So they represent the black God because it made white. They hid our God because our God is the white God that made black. The first things that was here, black. If you don't understand that, you will never find your way through Ascension. Because Ascension teaches you that. Like, it's the mother too, the matriarch. It's deep. You understand what I'm saying? So, how we're going to make this simpler for everybody, I'm going to show you, because I finished my Ascension. It was so beautiful. It all took place on the beach. I was going to the beach and looking at all these beautiful corals. Oh my God, almost broke it. This is one right here. These beautiful corals right here. You see? And from here, it seemed like I would keep them or have them in my eyes, my vision, and it started taking me on different journeys. Inside the corals, through different reefs, they showed me actually crystals, big crystals. Most of these islands is actually crystals that they're on. And I was like, no, this cannot be. And sure enough now, with me taking a journey with them, it was like I only had half of myself. I had half a vision, one side. And so all of a sudden, the other side, which I never take that journey, I was always afraid to take, was this missing part of myself that I needed to complete. Upon taking the other side, it was like everything that was one this way, or the two yin and yang, became one being. With these one being now came 1,000 other spirits, and they all started clapping. With them clapping, it was like an earthquake came, and out came crystals. These crystals now is what I'm going to offer to you to show you. They're called Enki crystals because on everyone is the Hat Man. The Hat Man is the one who took me through this journey and is the teacher. I'm the black horseman, the shadow being in my other side when I'm in the parallel world. With that in mind, I want to show you what my stuff are. Here we go. These are my crystals right here. I make these myself by hand, right? I found these and they come. These is for meditation. Meditation crystals and Reiki crystals. As you can see, they light up with different beings as you reflect off of the light. Each one representing a different dimension. With each one having a different face on it. Inside of it, it's always going to be a face, and it's always going to show a black person in every side of it, no matter how you put it, as you can see right there. These crystals is all my crystals that I came out with, that I made. These crystals is a lot of crystals that I'm going to be starting to sell. I'm just letting you see how it works. If you look, it's a face on everyone. These crystals is alive. Hold on. They're all alive. These is real spirits is in them. There's not no fake spirits. These isn't dead crystals. And I'm going to teach you how is that in a second. You know, they're for sale. Everything. Let me just take it around and show first. Even this beautiful, let me see if I can, because I'm holding this orientation. Where is it at? Over here. You see this love? It will be this a heart and the L. I make these myself. Let me put this back now and show you what I'm talking about. This is what I make. I found the mine itself. I dug up the mine. I did this in 5 days. Went in the coral, hammered up everything, dug it up. They showed it to me and pulled out these crystals. I shaped them myself. They're different from any crystal you will ever see. And inside of it is always a hat man. It's always a face. You see the spirit up here, his teeth, his eyes. You see the hat man right here on the side. You see the black people. This is black people stuff. Look through it. All my crystals, I'm in the crystal. I made this. I put people in the crystal. You see? Every crystal is like this. You see the hat man? You see the black people? This is guided to white. Look what color is the crystal. It's white. Look who's in it. They're showing you. The hat man with black people in it. These is the same people from Egypt. Do you see it in here? The darkness? This is the hat man right here in black. You see the beings? This is what I make. Oh, this is calcite, if you want to know. All this is calcite crystal. Hard. Real crystal. Look. Pure crystal right here. And I picked this by hand. When it comes, it doesn't come like this. It comes as a dirty, nasty rock. This is, my fingertips is gone. I have no fingertips right now. I personally do this hand myself and clean each one. And so these is all for sale that I'm going to be having. As you can see, the hat man is right up in here. You see the face right here too. Everyone shows images. You see the image right here? Images. This is for protection. This protects your house. You put this in your house and no negative spirits. This is also for empaths. Empaths stares at this and it's healing. All you got to do, if you want to see, Google the metaphysical health of calcite and you'll see this is what this is. This is for your chakras, your crown chakra, your heart chakra, your root chakra, and your sacral chakra. This covers 4 chakras and it balances you out. It cures all diseases. I kid you not. It cures you from everything. This right here. This, what you're looking at, is what light is. This is pure light. They call this the sun, Sol. This calcite is orange. When you look at it, it's orange. If you put a light to it, all you will see is an orange. As much as this beige or whatever, it's literally orange. So when you see red dirt, so this is what color it'll be, really, if you can see the orange on it coming through. So this, let me help you since y'all think I'm joking. Hold on. Let me first show y'all some of this stuff. Look. I'll pick up anyone. These is crystals you just keep in your pocket. Look at this. You see the hat man there? You see the black people in it? I could turn it anyway, right up here at the top. All these crystals, you just keep this in your pocket and you protect it. This is pure right here. Ain't nothing plain. Put it this way, you see beings. All my crystals have people in it. It ain't no fake crystal that's let me explain something to you real quick before I go into this. If you have a crystal, right? Let me take one. If your crystal look like this, it don't work. It's been shined down. It's been polished. It's been cut by machines. It changed the frequency. It don't work. Throw this away. Any crystal that's polished, shaped, it's no good. It don't do nothing. You have to keep the spirits in it. That's why this is white. It's white because it's still alive. You see, the reflection is different. Look what it reflects. It reflects beings. It don't reflect little white light. It reflects beings off of it. Look at each one as I turn it. You see how they come in and leave? That's a real crystal. This heals you. This do things for you. It protects you. It got a being in it. The other one don't. These is dead. This is for looks. They make it so it looks pretty to you. That's all you care about, how things look. But you don't know the spiritual significance of this stuff. I'm putting you on. Look it up. If you want to make sure that I'm telling you the truth, just Google spirit crystals. You will see spirit crystals is not shiny. It's chalky because the spirit is still in it. But you don't want their spirit crystals. This is your father right here, Obitala. He's on every one of these, and I'm going to show you that right now. No matter what you pick, which was what I'm going to do, because I got thousands. Just look at this. I'm just grabbing them randomly. Look at this, y'all. Let's look at the father. You see the boy right there? You see him with his head turned to the side? Look right here, another one. You see him right here? Come on, family. These is real. Everything is embedded. No matter what angle you turn it to, they're the same. Look at the hat man right there in the middle. I'm going to turn it again. Y'all ain't understanding. Look at the hat man right here at the top now. Come on, family. Look in the crystal. These protect you. This is the hat family. You want to know the hat family? Look at Ifa or Orisha. These are the gods of Orisha, the original gods. And look, where are they? Black people. Y'all want your own crystals? You see all this? I hammered my finger out doing this. My thumb, forget about it. All the skin is gone, so you see this big white thing? It's all yellow now, cut out. I'm gonna show y'all some of the pictures from the mind. This is from my own mind. This ain't coming from no store or nothing. I'm coming from my own mind. Look at this. Look in here. You see that? You see the man with his hand up? You see the black people in there? Y'all gotta be seers now. To read with these crystals, you have to be a seer to see the black people in it. You understand what I'm saying? You see the images in it? Look good. You have to have spiritual eyes. Okay, this is all crystal. Look in it now this way. You see the man in it? Look. You see him? Okay. And then y'all see. Now, this is the Black Panther mask. Look at this. You see the mask? You see the man in the mask? I made this. I see. Greetings. Greetings, Rizal. I made this. None of this is, you see how it's cloudy? Now watch when the light hit it. When the light hit it, it does its thing. You take DMT? Hell no, Black Hulk. You need to take some DMT so you can see, motherfucker. Don't play with me. Looks magnificent. Alright. I ain't work all this hard for a nigga to play games with me, man. I don't play games. I hate motherfuckers who play games. Look at this. This is what I make too. All of these. If you don't have a spiritual eye, you need to get the fuck off my channel, first of all. You understand what I'm saying? What is God of the White? You could Google, just Google Obitella right now. Google Obitella and tell me what's God of the White. Let me show you. Or Oduduwa. We have original gods that's African gods. That's the first gods. If you don't know that, if you just see them come up right now. Obtela. Obitella. Let me get this for you. I'm going to pull it up for y'all. I hate people who play games. All right. Let's do this. As a matter of fact, look at it. It's already there on my phone. This is what you have to Google to see your peoples. The same people. You see them with the hat on? Look at the name. Hold on, let it come up. Look at the name right there. You see the name? That's your peoples right here, family. Y'all worshiping the wrong thing. Go look at that, man. Don't think I'm crazy. Oduduwa was not only the first ruler of the unified Ifa, but also the progenitor of various independent royal dynasties in Yoruba, and is today venerated as the hero, the warrior, the leader, and the father of the Yoruba tribe. And I'm not saying it because they're Yoruba. I'm telling you the first gods. The spirit's showing me this. Same pictures that's it's inside these things. You're going to see the same man with the hat on. It's in the crystals. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So now that Oduduwa is a woman though. That's Set. When you do the research, you got to follow me. Because Set is if you want to know about all this, read The Cult Shadow by Kenneth Grant. The Cult of the Shadow. Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant will bring you up to date with the West African spirituality, Tantra, Tarot. That's West African. Everything started there. So once you go test out Kenneth Grant, then you could come back here and you will understand all this stuff. Okay? Let me break it down for you some more so you get it some more. Since y'all don't understand, like, the God of the White. I got it here on my tablet for you. 1 second. Y'all gonna have to deal with my neighbors. They be putting on church joints up in here. Alright, what I do my own research, right? So I'm gonna take you into my little research for a quick minute. So you could get an idea of what's going on. Okay. And it's called Black History Research. I do it for myself. Now, in this, I'll show you all the different gods, how it's like worded so you get a good understanding. Because I do like a brain mapper for myself so that people could get a general understanding of what I'm talking about. I know I talk fast, and sometimes a lot of people miss the point, but, you know, you'll get it. Let me show you. We can start off. We're gonna go from Kenneth Grant, with actually from the Caduceus, the original Caduceus, how they found it, what was on it, and what was said. And the Caduceus actually had the letters OB and OD on it. And that's the original one that they found in West Africa. With that now, it tracks down a whole bunch of gods that was existing at that time. And so, without further ado, let me show you it. Okay. This is basically the system so that you can see the system right here. This is my brain map, and I'm going to use it to show you everything as we go along. Let me see if I could put it here. Okay, we're going to zoom up so we can see. Okay, let's go from up. Hold on, I can't do it. Let me pull it to it and show y'all first. Okay. The Caduceus. The Caduceus had originally OB and OD on it. One stands for Oduduwa and one stands for Obitella. One means electrical current, the other means magnetic current. It works with your body. But if you don't know these signs, you would worship them like gods or something. It's a science for you to follow. So with that now, let me link it to first the actual tree of life so that you can see how it looks. Okay. Okay, the original tree of life, right? It had Olarum here at the top, as you can see, Olarum. And then we have Ketha, which is Obitella. Then we have Bina and Chikman, which is carried out as Odudwa and Onse. Then you have Unga, Jakuta, Shango, Kaluga, Ifa, Yemaya, and ILE, which now is the original verse that I'm saying. When they talk about God, and when we say the word God, you got to understand what's going on here. This is a translation. If I was to say God, y'all would have to tell me what's the name, which God? But I go gods. You still have to tell me which God. So I don't know how we just said, let's put a capital G on it and we'll say God. But you don't say which God. It's many gods. Jesus said you're a God. So once you realize that, then you will realize the OD is when you put the G on it. The OD is the same as Odin. O-D-I-N. From here on, you could use those two letters and come up with every word that has OD in it to see that it goes back to them. Odin is the same God. But now it's in Norse. The same Norse gods is the same African God. Shango, every one of them. But they changed it to make us believe Europeans have their own stuff. So I'm giving you back the original of it so you could track it down. So let me give you some data of it real quick. Let's look at... Okay, I'm going to read this to you. This is what it says about Obitala. It says now, this is from Kenneth Grant book. Obitala meaning king of the whiteness and light. So when I say Obitala, I'm just saying light, sun. The sun is Obitala. The sun is a living being called Obitala, which uses the clouds to travel on like in the Bible. But for y'all to get the science, you have to understand this. So this, I could give you my brain map if you want, email me and I'll send you this brain map. But anyway, you could get the book Cult of Shadow and read the whole book and understand everything. And follow Kenneth Grant, read his books, man, because he goes to West Africa. Everything in there is about the original Typhonians, the original Draconians. These is all black people stuff. We don't follow that now. We follow the pseudo-European version of the black people stuff. But it don't work no more once you got the new version of it because it's watered down. You have to go back to the original version of it for you to activate your powers. And if you don't activate your powers, you're going to get crazy a little bit. It's a different time winner. So anyway, let me read about the God of the White, the King of, all right. Obitella, meaning the king of whiteness and light, was preserved in the occult tradition of the Tree of Life. One of the titles of Ketha is the white head. In African symbolism, whiteness represents spirit. Let me read that again. In African symbolism, whiteness represents spirit. I'm going to say that again. In African symbolism, whiteness represents spirit and the light of spirit. During the celebration of the mysteries, the neophyte was plastered with white ashes or clay to denote his transformation into a spirit and his ability thereof to function in the world of spirits. White was therefore revered in the mysteries as the holiest of hues. Obitala, as the king of whiteness, was a transsexual deity, but when whiteness later came to symbolize creative potency as the white seed of semen, Obitala then became the equivalent of the masculine component of the deity. He is the African logo and is also the work of Obitala to form the child in the womb. So I'll say it again. It's also the work of Obitala to form the child in the womb. That now is where we get the picture of Kenu on the potter's wheel. You see the two people on the potter's wheel with the dude with the horn in Egypt? That's Obitala. He forms the children. But that's not the children right there. In that world, this is where it gets kind of deep. Those two on the potter's wheel represent Ida and Pingala. Those two energies. Let me show you what I mean before y'all get lost. Okay. This is it right here. Look. You see that? This is your yoni. Obitella. This is Obitella, but it's also your yoni. This was not two people on the potter's wheel. This represents the two energies running down your spine, the conduits. You see it? Which will be Obitella and Odudwa, or Isis and Osiris, or Ida and Pingala. It's all the same thing. Ooh, welcome to my class. This is for real, y'all. Now let me tell you about what it says. We're going to use the Ida and Pingala. This is what I'm going to read to you up here, so you can see for yourself if you want to read first before I read, so you can understand what this represents. This is a vagina. That's what it means. But it's the God in white. It's a sexual energy that's in Tantra that we all use. We don't know how we use it because it's called the libido energy. Let me get into this for you. It says, the Ida and Pingala nadis, the lunar and solar currents, manifesting in the human body as the left and right branches of the ganglion nervous structure. That's what you're looking at every time you look at this picture. That's all that is. Ooh, it's not that hard, family. It's not that hard. Now, to make it understandable why the K is important, K, his name is Kanum. Kanum is his name. That's what they call him. Kali. All these names is with the K has what is Baal? Baal, B-L. That would be Bethel or the word for heaven. When you're doing this, you're taking two letters and then the other two letters. We know B-E would be O-B. And E-L is the same thing, L. You're saying God, God. You got to take everything down to 3 letters or 2 letters. There's no other word. After 3 letters, it repeats itself. Learn that science and you will see everything is easy to understand for you. Everything go back to this. Everything is Al, A-L is the same as E-L. One is in Arabic and one is in Canaanite or Hebrew. L is in Hebrew. Where you get Elohim is the same thing. El and Al was actually A-N, An, as in Anu. An is O-N, An. Which all these names that I'm saying is the name for the sun. An, or before it was 8, remember, Google when was vowels added to the alphabet. If you Google when was vowels added to the alphabet, you will come up with the 15th or 17th century. So those names was not existing back then. There was no A. Alright. So once you learn that, then you understand that these is a new translation and we believe this nonsense. There was no E. What E? There was no, everything was this language. I can't remember right now. But I show you, we didn't have no vowels. We only spoke with consonants, man. Africans only use consonants. When you add vowel to it, you lost the whole meaning of the language. You can make up whatever you want now. Why? Consonants had a symbol to represent each consonant. That's why we only use consonants. So when we had these symbols, it had a representation. When you add vowels, you translate in that. You can make it mean anything you want. So they say vowels is a pseudo-language. I'm going to show you that too, right here on Wikipedia. We spoke with our words. That's the ultimate. Yes, that's my new thing now. I haven't spoken in about 3-4 days. I practice. I don't speak. When I leave here, I don't talk I don't talk. I do that Osho stuff. I be in silence. I think y'all need to practice it too. You get information come in. Take a few days off from talking, yo. Real talk. Let me wipe my face. Hold on. 1 second. Alright. So we're doing the lessons. Since y'all are interested in this, I didn't even know y'all care about all this. Here we go. We on the letter K. Because Kali, Cahoon, they slick. The Panani or Yoni is coded under K. The letter K. Whenever you see the letter K, know that it's... Yo, my science is so to the point. It knocks everything out the box. Trust me when I'm telling you this. Anything with a K is feminine, female energy of the Panani. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. K. K, the last letter of magic. Before I read it, I'm going to let you see it first. This is all on my brain map. Like I said, I'll show you the whole brain map. Here we go. You see this? It's Obitala, the Dumbala and Voodoo. Obitala is invisible. It's the hidden god, Ra-Amun. He's Amun. He's hidden. We only know about the feminine one. We don't know about Obitala. Nobody know about it. That's only the Masonic people know about that. You understand? That's why they do it in ritual. It's another process to get to him. That's what I'm here to teach you about. We only know about the black, sexual shit. The left-hand path, right-hand path. He ain't in none of that. He's third way, the middle path. You understand what I'm saying? So they don't teach you that those two paths. It's not there. So that's what we're going to learn about all of this. Because we have to learn this because we're Jedi. We don't die. And you think you're dying and you're going to choose one of the wrong paths. Either one is the wrong path. That's what I'm trying to teach y'all. All right, here we go. The letter K. Let me read it now. K, the last letter of magic, is the 11th letter of several major alphabets. It is a tribute to the god Jupiter. Bam. Now look, you see, I ain't got all my research. I could pull it up. Jupiter is actually made up in Ethiopia. That's the Ethiopian god, Jupiter. That's our god that created black people, Jupiter. You understand? So you got to understand Jupiter is Jesus. Jupiter Zeus, however you want to call it. That's still Jupiter. Jupiter also is, when we say Peter, like, you got to understand what Peter is. Peter is a portal opener. That's what the actual word meant. It never meant a man's name. When you said Peter, you're an opener. You have to look and research that, but I got it all in here. So anytime you say Peter, it's somebody opening a portal. But that's another thing. Let me finish this. All right. The god Jupiter, whose vehicle, the eagle, is symbolic of the magic power and the feminine aspect. You see, the feminine aspect, the K coming now as a feminine letter. It's a magic. It's sexual. You know, I'm not going to teach y'all this stuff. That's bad. Okay, let me go back. I'm going to read it all over and just run it out. K, the last letter of magic, is the 11th letter of several major alphabets. It attributes to the god Jupiter, whose vehicle, the eagle, is symbolic of the magic power in its feminine aspect. It is the symbol of the gigantic power whose color is scarlet, the purple. You hear what the letter K got a color. Indigos. He's part of us. We come from the indigo. If you look at all these crystals, they got purple in it too. That's part of our science. So you got to understand two gods that make two different colors. This is the fact. Learn this. Speak more of the letter. Okay, all right, let me shut up. Okay. The symbol of the gigantic power whose color is scarlet and who has affinity with Capricorn or Babylon. You see, Capricorn is Babylon. I'm Capricorn anyway, if y'all didn't know that. I'm Capricorn. I'm also 111, and my time is at 1 o'clock. I was born. Okay. Now, the seal, the special importance of Capricorn, the goat, is revealed by its attribution in the Indian tradition to the goddess Kali, whose vehicle is blood. K is also canoe, or quote, symbolized by the tail or vagina, venerated in ancient Egypt as the source of great magical power. Magic spelled with a K therefore indicates the precise nature of the current which therein. Crowley embodied it and transmuted it. So there, you can see it for yourself. I'll leave it up there so you see. There's more going on here than what y'all think, man. Y'all take this European way of living too lightly, man. They doing magic on y'all and using y'all in mad ways. And so for me, I had to be broken out of all of that stuff. It was a scary journey that I'm telling you have to go through, because we don't even know what's going on. We're in a feminine energy that is fucking us. It's brain fucking us. It's mind fucking us. And our own body is used against us to do this. So let me go on now, because now you understand K. We're still talking about the picture right here of this guy, Canoe. You see him? And I put underneath it the yoni, so you understand what it means. So here's where I'm going to put it, make you understand how it's the yoni. We go into the next one now, where it says, this is the same thing, the seed of the fire. It says the seed of the fire snake is the vulva, which is, as it were, the second eye. It represents in the Chinese system by the trigram, and you see the word Kawan. Look at the word Kawan. You see it? All of a sudden the K come again? It's not coincidence. Now look, Kawan and the callus of the effiga of this eye are represented by the trigram TUI, or the tar. Same thing, TUI. And it says this eye also is Ein, A-Y-I-N, as in Ein Sof, which number is 70, represent the material aspect of the 7. So when you're talking 7 days of the week, everything in the material world, that's why you see this symbol, 7, K. The feminine energy, the thing that holds us all down in the Kali. Let me read on. This eye also is the Ein, whose number 70 represents the material aspects of the 7, the number of the primordial goddess. Among other correspondences are the words Lil, meaning night. You know how we got Lilith and Lil? Well, the word just means night or neath. It's the same thing. This is magic. And the words, they have a symbolism, which is SVD. That's their symbol, meaning the secret. Whenever you see SVD, that's another sacred word for the secret. Also, a conch or seat. The god Set, a sacred chest, ark, box of esophagus, all of which invoke ideas of death and mystical life, life in death. Therefore, an owl, the word Khabs, Khabs, is described as the name of my house, meaning that the star is the name of the abode of the fire snake. You get this? Kundalini, which is at the spine, the sacral part right here. So all of this is activated through our psychology. I'm going to break this down to you how it works, because it's what gives off chemicals. What you think makes your chemicals go off. These certain chemicals make you do whatever you do. The chemicals make you think what you think. You don't think what you think. It's the body make you think what you think by setting off certain chemicals to make you think that. Okay, let's keep the K going real quick, just to verify the K is the vagina. Now, in the actual Google definition of the Egyptian god, you see right here, that would be the yellow. You see that's where they come up with their definition of that Egyptian god, and you see his name is Khnum. Khnum is an ancient Egyptian god who was the god of the Nile inundation from Elephantine, where he guarded the first cataract. Khnum appears portrayed as a ram-headed man and holding a scepter and an ankh in his hand. Sometimes he's depicted as a bull-headed man at the potter's wheel. So you see, that's what that is. That's not Kunam. That's actually the Yoni. So you get now to see, let me see. This is the image. This will be the right image. A woman. You see how they got it looking all feminine? This will be more in line to say that's the vagina feminine energy. Now I'm gonna read this one on top of it for you so you could understand what's going on here. Now, this is in reference to the God of the white. I had skipped over because we missed a few parts. I wanted to first bring to your attention the dance of the Africans, right? With actually the picture so you can see. You see the dove, you see the man putting white ashes on his face. You see how we actually put the white on us. That's how we used to do. This represented spirit, God of the white. This is how we lived. You understand? So now I'm going to read these catchphrases to you so you understand what they meant when we did these rituals. Okay? Hold on. I'm going to pull it up for you right here so you can see. Alright. So he says now, alright. Did I read this, huh? Okay, let me see. Obatala meaning king of the white. Yeah, I did. I'm underneath that. Alright. The dances with African novice learning during this seclusion and afterwards exhibit in neighboring villages are usually designed to promote their attractiveness in marriage. Oxora boys, while in seclusion, are called collectively Abakawata. After their wounds have healed and the white clay has been washed from their bodies, the Abakawata are taken to the village where they perform their dances with the aid of the unmarried girls. So now you see, that would represent this picture here. This is them going through their initiation. The Europeans later on came and took the same white dove now to represent spirit. That's why you see they talk this white dove, and we don't know the true meaning of it. You understand? So for you to understand the white dove, the white spirit, it would be this part right here. You see this? This is our white God right here. He's always on you as the reflection. And that's where you can see through and do things through. You understand? But you have to know God of the white. That's the white. So anyways, let's move on. This was just symbolism when they did these rituals. But now, if you was to look at Obitella, what would Obitella look like? Do you think Obitella would look like this? Why is gargoyles on top of all the buildings protecting them? Could you read what it says? Obitella set, male, female, hermaphrodite, also called Neith Knight. Got many names. The protector of everybody. The one who made everybody the black and everybody don't know. The hat man on the low. Let's read this real quick. What does this say? Set Obitella male, Abudwa female, Had. He's also called Had, or she, called Neith and Hadith, the black one. Female Isis, the king of whiteness, male Osiris, the transsexual god. Now it says, the king of whiteness was a transsexual deity, but when whiteness later came to symbolize creative potency, the white semen, oh, I read that part to you already. I don't have to run that back to you. All right, now, I'm giving you as my version of what I see in the astral world, it looks something like that. You understand? Similar, that's what we're going to see, but not the beings. But now, let's take on some of what it has to do with you. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right. It says now, the voodoo cult of the black snake and their sinister Chinese cult of the Kuak, spelled Ku, with the female demons and the whores of hell, who for all their harloties hold keys to the gates of paradise. The inherent dream, the inherent dream, the true will, the primordial obsession are terms used by initiates to denote the hidden God that accompanies man through the cycle of birth and death, even uniting him with the shade and seeking refication in the objective universe. And ADAP alone can determine which is the substance, which is the shadow. Owing to the present state of humanity in this dark age of Kali, there has been a great upsurge of primordial energy which finds its fullest expression in the phenomenon of sex. But if that sexual energy are not properly controlled and polarized, destructiveness awaits, and the practitioner who uses them without fully understanding the formula of the left-hand path, which is of all paths the swiftest and the most dangerous, it seemed almost superfluous to add that a magus only can manipulate with impunity the magical currents that changes these coats of shadows. As the Tantra say, one reaches heaven by the very thing which leads him to hell. You get that? That's a fact. I'm going to put this down. If you're interested in all this stuff, this covers not just the cult of shadow over here. These is brain maps. I go into African Tantraism. This now explains Kemet. This is all the Kemet stuff. I just don't want to get into Kemet because Kali is Sakmet, the lion. That's the same energy. If you wanted to know who she was, and she's also represented as Callus or there's one more. I just can't remember it right there. But I'll give you a reading so you get an understanding of it, what I'm trying to tell you here. Okay, this is from the African Tantra now of the Callus. The tree of life has been described as the ground plan for the Western esoteric tradition. It is this and much more in a sense other than the demonstration in the previous chapter. Its delineation are capable of illuminating the arcane system of the classical antiquity by reference to the coast from which they originated and emerged, which is the coast of Africa. Furthermore, traces of some of the most obscure magical languages are let extend in some of the god names. Place names and ancient dialects of Africa and the West African fetish coast, for instance, are preserved some of the primal names of magical power. They were carried over and integrated with Egyptian and Chaldean traditions as much later ages. So you see, the West African is the actual one that holds the names of power. It's not anybody else, not the Jews. They're giving you the false name. You have to go back to the original. And it says the pantheon of these primal cults are replete with names suggesting Enochian, Atlantean, and even earlier rootage. Oduduwa, the supreme generics, worshipped by the people of Yoruba and Dahomey, Benin, and neighboring kingdoms, was undoubtedly the type name and root of the most ancient deity known to man. Later worshipped in masculine form as Od, then Ad, or Had in Hadith, and later on in Chaldean as Odoram, Odomer, and all the powers until he became El in the Bible and Jehovah and everything. So everything go back to one person. It's still the same God you are representing today. But I'm giving it to you in the pure form. That's all. Let me read up from there. It said, both these deities, Olaram and Olga, are experiences of the Ein, or the eye of the void, which is the primal African code was known as Elohim, E-L-E-M-I, Elamai, a name which was said to be incommunicatable. So now you know it's the incommunicatable word. It was Elamai, E-L-E-M-I. If you want to see it, it would be, let me put my finger on it. You see it right there, E-L-E-M-I, Elamai. And it says it's the uncommunicable word. Because my point to this is, they can't invent nothing. They just plagiarized everything. And once you learn that, you go right to the source and just knock them out your way because they're silly. They did a lot of wrong things that they need to, make up for, but you ain't going to do that. But anyway, let's continue. It says now, are expressions of the Ein, or the eye of the void, which is the primordial African cult, which was known as the Elamai, a name which was said to be incommunicatable, and it was the equivalent of El, or Al, continued in the draconian cults as El Shaddai, or El Shaitan, the stellar deity worshipped by the Arabs and the Jews, and by the earliest settlers in Sumer, Elemi, Elami, or Elhim, Alhim, and this became Elohim of the biblical lore. These gods or cosmic powers pour through the veil of the Ayin and the all-seeing eye, which has in humans analog in the Ajna chakra, concentrated in the first power zone of Ketha as Obitala. Obitala, meaning king of the whiteness and the light, was preserved in those traditions. So you hear it for yourself. This is straight up facts. So you got to look at it like this, family. When you're reading anything in English, you fucked up. You know why? It's a translation. It's not the Eastern books. You're from the East. You was taken it from Africa. You're not from here. So you would have read it in African language or what is it? Israelite, Jew, whatever. We don't even have to go to our peoples. We go to the modern time, but from the East. So when you translate it to English, that's different from actually converting it to English. It wasn't converted to English because English got what we call vowels in it. We don't speak with vowels, so when they put vowels, everything changes. It's a pseudo language that people don't recognize. The word is on this phone. I can't think of it right now, but actually the English language is a pseudo language because it got vowels in it. Any language with vowels in it is considered a pseudo language. It's not real because it's whatever you say it means. It don't have a universal symbol that all indigenous people all over the world spoke one language. And because it had symbols that we all saw in our subconscious mind. But when vowels came, it was an invention. And so they had to say, what does it mean? And so now it lost its universal meaning. And so the same thing, when you translate a book from the West to the East, it's a translation. It doesn't have an equivalent word. So you got to realize these things that we're hearing is messing with our minds. It's not something you could take in English and actually say it's real because it's a translation. Only way you're going to understand this is if you read German books, French books. Those people who was closest to the Africans and the Egyptians at that time who wrote these books. Then you will see the difference from what the pictures in there. There's no Horus, there's none of that stuff. And it all mean about astral dimensions and traveling and a whole bunch of crazy stuff. When we got it and Egyptologists translated it, they made it into a worshiping thing. And that's where everything lost itself, where we lost our ability to be an empath or indigo, because those was for us. It wasn't for everybody. It's for people who could actually interpret the spirit world, people who could astral project and leave their body, who they visit, who's connected to them genetically. But a lot of us, we just follow what people say, what people do, and we don't care. We just have no spirituality to us to see on these other worlds. But dude, the God of the white, you have to see. God of the white is silver. It's light. I teach light. This is all light lessons. You understand? You're light. Everything is calcification of light on different levels. So once you learn you're a light being, you learn to separate yourself back and let all your demions that make up your whole calcified self as like salt brines that crisscross to make flesh, go back to itself and you just the consciousness so you can leave your body at will. You understand? So on that note, let's look into some of these crystals. All of these is unique in the sense, like I was saying, it has a being on it. Look, this is the hat man. You're not going to see too much of this anywhere in the world. Let me use this hand because I told you I smashed my finger. So you see it's a person on it. No matter what direction, I turn it over this way. These is spiritual. You're not going to see a clear-cut person. You got to have spiritual eyes. There's two worlds. Let me break it down to you. There's two worlds. This physical world that you're seeing is for dead people. This is controlled by these obtuse spirit, these translucent spirit, these light blobs. They control all of this. If you want to see how they would look like this. You see this shape? This shape is a dinosaur head. Everything has this shape to it. So this is how they look. It's your head, it's a bird head. That's just the genetics of everything. You can see how everything is one and the same. So by you realizing it's only one shape, you will understand where that shape come from and the God that run it. So, looking into this, you see it's a being. You see the two eyes right there. These is the crystals for healing. These is chakra crystals. And I'm going to show you how to use them. They actually help you astral project and leave your body. They protect you against beings. You have to do the research for it, and I'm gonna help you because I'm gonna take this to my Facebook in about 15 more minutes, and you can look on my Facebook. And so you have ones like this. You see how this catch light? You see how like you have one being that come in right here. These is how you will use this. You see how you turn it and each one go in and out? It catches light, and these are the different beings or different dimensions that you will have to use for meditation. Alright? Well, anyways, I'm going to take this in a few seconds to Facebook so I can finish this off because it's a lot of pictures that go with this, and I'm not able to show them right now. But as you can see, this is the black boy with the crown on his head. This is the crown, and that's his face right there. So I hope y'all get the good image of this. I don't know if it's coming through. But if you want to know more about this God of the white, because it actually is part of your ascension, and you have to know the truth. Following the black God and all that stuff is just matter. You're in matter. There's spirit. I taught y'all, if anything, that when you see white, it's spirit. That's all it means. So now you know white is reflection. White is the magnetic field. The magnetic field is when you send a whole bunch of TV signals, you send cell phone signals, you send any type of signal right into this magnetic field. It's spirit. It organizes it. It put everything in its proper channel so no two things is on the same channel when you tune into a station. So spirit runs everything. You understand? It's the highest level of it, and you have a spirit side to you, and you have a flesh side, which is matter, mother, feminine, that creates flesh. And you have to learn to not follow your physical because it has a recycled process. It just keeps reincarnating. It's the spirit that leaves, which is your consciousness. Once you learn that, you will actually learn how to separate your body from your consciousness and your soul so you can take the journey to ascension. Ascension is knowing that you're an angel, you're a higher being, and the spirit guides, these people here, if you look, they're waiting for you to come so they could teach you. Once you come, they'll teach you all the lessons to how to go into other worlds and who you really are, your true self. I can't even be your teacher. You understand what I'm saying? I could just open the portal for you and let you in. They're your teachers because they're part of you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a journey you take for yourself. And this journey will help you now understand who you are. A lot of things you seek, it will make sense to you. But if you're interested in these Reiki crystals, we got single ones. I got single ones that, you could just keep in your pocket. It protects you. Follow me on Facebook to learn about this more and see all the pictures because I'm just demonstrating a few of them here. It's just like seeing the clouds. If you know how to read the clouds and see the being in the clouds, you'll know how to read these crystals. But they're very powerful. They give off a lot of energy. And if you see the hat, the yellow hat up there, and you see the face, it's like a bear type thing. This is how it works. So let's end this off so we could go to Facebook and continue this. Look, see this love? I know y'all see this heart. I know it's a lot of people who got no spiritual life, but y'all do see this is an L and this is a heart. I made these. So, and this, same like the shape, this would be like the dragon head or whatever. This is a dragon. You see how this is? This got spiritual healing powers and protection. This protect you from negative energies. The number one thing for protection, you can look these up, is coral fossils. Coral fossils, I sell a whole line of coral fossils that nobody ever seen. Coral fossils is millions of years old. You understand? That's what makes them unique. But they're what our ancestors used to make amulets. Amulets is what you put in your chain to protect you and give you magical powers, spiritual powers. It was the coral crystals and this calcite that we use, special calcite that could project images as you look upon it. Just like you see all the faces and everything, they're alive and they're ready. So these is what I offer to you. I'm going to show you some of the coral calcite, of these beautiful, you see, like this. This is how they would look. You see? Their unique shapes. You'll just keep this in your pocket for protection to stop energy vampires. If you're an empath, this will calm your anxiety down and your energies. They're expensive. Don't take none of this twisted. I'll give you an example. Here, I'll give you some. These was for like protection for your house. These protect you from negative energy. You see how they look? These capture negative energies. And these is ancient. You see the symbols on it? Now, something like this costs about $600-700. Half the size is about $300-400. Trust me, I'm telling you. But I'm not doing no price like that. I'm just showing you what I have. Just call me or hit me up and we'll talk business because I got them from all sides down to earring size. You understand? So we've got something for everybody. And these is for house protection. I wouldn't make no ashtray out of it. That's disrespecting our ancestors. These is living beings though. Coral is actually, the skeleton of the reefs or whatever. These was actually beings at one time, so they still alive. So our ancestors used these to make amulets and protections for ourselves. This is what we use. You understand what I'm saying? So I just want you to know what these are. So these protect your house, protect you from all types of evil spirits or whatever. And believe it or not, only evil spirits you gotta worry about is your neighbor. The evils is really our thought energies. If you wanna know something, I'm gonna tell y'all the fact that y'all gotta realize. Jesus is real. As much as Spider-Man is real in the spiritual world. You know why? Because people think these things up in their thought forms and they create these things. And so all of this stuff is what's attacking y'all. Attacking everybody that you need protection from. Because we create whatever we think, we create it. You don't see it, but you actually create it. So until we forget about some of those things, they're going to always exist to our memories, our thoughts of them. We create these things. I hope y'all understand that. And a lot of things we stop focusing on and want to kill and shoot and stop because we bring these things into this world. This is like you see the black hat man up there. It's his one eye, his teeth. This is our spiritual protection. These is orbitaler crystals. You understand? You see the faces in it. If you can't see, you don't even make no sense to do this. This is only for seers, people who's empaths, and people who have psychic abilities that could use these, people who do Reiki, special healing, who need protection from energy vampires. So, they come in all the way down to this size, so you can see, for example, small like from this size, still get the same result. You could put this in your pocket and keep it with you and they'll do the same thing. So it doesn't matter what size you want. I even got standard looking ones that just big chunks of it. I got every size. I got some that is you can hold your door up with. Like door big. Can't even pick it up. Alright, so those things I'm actually bringing to the tables. If y'all interested in that, like I said, I'm just gonna be waving a few of them so you can see, it's a table full. You see how it's crystallized, it's hand carved by me, myself. It ain't no, if you put it in water, it shine. It ain't polished. If you ordering it from me, I could polish it for you. But I would tell you how it loses its spiritual power. You could just dip it in water and it'll shine while you do your meditation. You could use it to go into the astral world. It does everything. It actually activates you. You understand what I'm saying? So once you know how it works and how it used and I explain it to you, you'll get it. Now, it's not actually dirt. This is what's called calcite. It's orange. You understand? That's this orange stuff on here. I take them off of some, which, it takes a lot of time. This is like when you take it off, how it look. But the orange is just this calcification and the sediment around it. But it has spiritual significance for it. You want to see images in it because you're going to stare at it and take you into another world. That's how they work. Like I said, if you want little more knowledge of it and how it works, you could get in touch with me. It's a whole bunch. I got all type of different styles, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful to look at, and it's all crystal. Alright, so that's been my little journey that I've been on with these Enki crystals. Y'all will get the image and the pictures in them as y'all see them later on and get used to them. Alright. So, that's about it. If anybody got any questions, y'all could start shooting them or whatever. See this? That's what y'all need, man. This is spiritual protection. This ain't no cute angel that is imagined. It's imagination. You want the ancestors. You want God. Look around you in nature, what you see. Look how the trees look. Look how the rocks look. That's who your ancestors is. And I hope you understand that. Anyways, University of Conscious Science. All that.